How's everyone doing staying grounded and at ease while the world is coming unhinged? I'll be talking about this and how it relates to the upcoming Taurus New Moon on the 16th of May on today's episode of Our Waking Dream. I'm so glad you're here. My name's Coco Swanson, and each week I delve into one astrology theme that's moving through either the week or the season. Ideally, I teach this in a way that's beginner friendly, so let me know how I'm doing. And then I tie it to an embodiment practice, inquiry questions, and different somatic experiences that allow for us to integrate the wisdom that's contained within the metaphor of the cosmos in a way that allows us to move with the stream of energy versus flailing upstream. At least that's how it feels like to me if I'm not following the cues of the planets, which is just still wild to me that astrology works as well as it does. So I'm curious, if you're listening, I imagine that you're also sensitive, and I'm curious what you're noticing as you listen as time goes by. And when you practice these practices, what happens? Let me know. On my site, I have links to a free solutions lab I'm offering every other week, a time for you to jump on with me live, and we problem solve with my lens that looks at how energy creates form, thought forms, relationship forms, and we can shift energy a lot easier than we can shift form when we know how to. So jump on over to my site. The links are below. Also, I have a leadership studio where I'm looking at this each month with a group of people. You can sign on anytime you receive meditations, somatic exercises, journal promptings, and live bi-weekly sessions. Okay, enough about that. Links below. Let's look at this upcoming new moon. It's on May 16th. So if you're listening to this on May 10th, you have almost a full week of prep, which is exciting because this new moon, I think, is important, and I'll explain why. It's an important time to ground, to establish fortifying practices in a time where we're about to pick up speed as we shift into Gemini in the next 10 days. And so let me just break this down. So, as astrologically speaking, when we have a new moon, it means the sun and the moon are together. When anything's together in the sky, it's called a conjunction. In this case, the conjunction creates a new moon. Wherever the new moon is on the astrology wheel is what is highlighted for not only that new moon, but the following month. It sets the pace for a month, which we really, if we focus on the themes of the new moon, we're able to move with more ease and impact for the following month. So this moon is at 25 degrees of Taurus. That's getting to the end of Taurus, the zodiac sign of Taurus. It's also within 3 degrees of the planet Mercury. So that means that the sun, the moon, and Mercury are pretty much together in a conjunction in the sky, really emphasizing those last degrees of Taurus. I love this new moon at this time. I want to explain a little bit larger story that if you've been listening to this podcast or this show, you have the larger story. If not, the previous episodes on both Pluto and Aquarius and Uranus and Gemini, both of those really point to a larger storyline going on that's really important and emphasizes why this Taurus new moon is advantageous for us. But let me explain it as simply as I can. And let's just name it. Is anybody overstimulated, scared for humanity, curious about the ethics of a lot of the leaders and a lot of the systems, curious about what's going to happen with AI, and uncertain what to trust? To me, these are symptoms of the times, with Uranus and Pluto shifting into Gemini and Aquarius. Let's keep it real simple because I could really jump off the deep end with astrology. And so we'll just say we're ramping up the times of real information overload, especially as the Sun and Mercury shift into Gemini and join Uranus. It's a big deal. And we always these days are saying it's a big deal, meaning we, the astrologers, and it is. There's a lot going on in the sky, and that's evidenced by how much is going on just globally of global instability, not knowing what information to trust, not trusting the ethics of those in charge. That a lot of the patterns that we're experiencing right now as a species are not meant to pass the test of time. Well, this creates the feeling of a world unhinged. And a world unhinged can create nervous systems that are unhinged, unstable. If my nervous system is not at ease, my general impact in my life and my availability for what's alive and how I can be in service to myself and the world diminishes. I need to be fortified in order to be impactful. You need to be fortified. We all need to be at ease in our body and in our minds in order to create impact in our lives. This new moon is advantageous for this. Taurus, the zodiac sign of Taurus, is all about slowing down, being in our senses, fortifying our bodies, our habits. It's a fantastic time to look at what information we're consuming and how that affects our nervous system, how that affects our bodies, our gut, our brains. So this next week, it's a preparatory time to do so. Anytime, like if you're watching this sometime in the future, you'll still benefit. It's just with astrology, there are these windows of time that allow for a real quantum leap when we embody the metaphor in a way that moves with the flow. While we still have the Sun and Mercury in Taurus, let's fortify ourselves. Let's be Taurian. I'll explain what this is, how it applies to you, and see how much we can fill our cup, our body's cup. Safety, our biorhythm, how we can align with the biorhythm of the earth rather than the rhythm of technology in order to fortify ourselves during these times of change. Step 1, always inquiry questions, at least here at Our Waking Dream. So before we know how to take care of ourselves, and before we can really listen, we need to take inventory of how we're doing now. I'm curious, how does your body feel when you're taking in the news these days? When you're scrolling and you land on a piece of news that feels corrupt, questionable, unethical, what does your body do? That's the first question, to start to notice how your senses are responding to what's going on globally. How do you feel when you think about AI? How do you feel when you think about the potential of global war, geopolitical instability? How does that land in your body? Do you feel contracted? Do you feel hopeless? Does it scatter your energy? Start noticing, because that's the material that we want to work with this week, is the material that trips your body up. Those are the signs, the indicators where you need more habits that nurture your senses and nurture your morale, that allow for you to feel at ease, to create more ease. This is about how we can activate to become agents of change individually and collectively in times of global unrest. So how often are you carrying the weight of global, or perhaps it's in your company, of systemic dilemmas? How often are you carrying that at a personal level? Take note of that right now. Practice number 2. What are you feeding your mind, and how is it affecting your body? Start to notice when you scroll, what information are you consuming? When you talk to people, what information are you consuming, and how destabilizing is it for you? Start to notice, because that's the entrance into this exercise. So this is a somatic experience to allow for you to restabilize your energy once you receive destabilizing information. So primarily, start your scroll. Or if you're doing this with a friend, which I think would be brilliant, you start talking about something that's emotionally destabilizing going on in your world or the world. Once you notice your system having a response, once you notice a contraction in your body or a tightening, you say, am I deliberately choosing what information gets to run through my system? Are you? So when you notice that your system is emotionally reacting to news that you just took in, I invite that you interrupt your thought pattern through coming into your senses and simply slowing down, releasing the thought, and noticing something fantastic in the moment. What we focus on grows. So if we're focused on information that's really hard to digest and is destabilizing your nervous system, your focus has shifted. It's fragmented. It's probably less hopeful. You're an agent. Your agency for change decreases with a fragmented nervous system that's focused on what it doesn't want. So simply by slowing down, interrupting your thoughts, by focusing on your sensation, slow sensation. This is deep breath. And what happens with one deep breath? How about what happens with many deep breaths? To honor your nervous system and to return to your senses, to notice relaxation and feel grateful for each breath of relaxation. This allows for the destabilizing information in the world to be assimilated and released, so you can choose your thoughts. So you could choose to plant a seed of possibility, of hope. Why not? When you hear the destabilizing information or read it, drop it out of your brain, Come back into your breath. Relax your shoulders. I release this information. Be thankful for relaxed shoulders or whatever you're experiencing, and move on with the next moment. Plant a seed of possibility if you'd like. It's moment to moment noticing, moment to moment recentering. Breath, gratitude, seeds of possibility. Practice number 3. How often are you feeling a sense of urgency in your body? Follow the urgency in your body, not to invoke action when you're feeling urgent, but to actually slow down to let your body catch up with your mind. Our minds are oftentimes in the future or in the past. Yet our system is here, and our impact to create change increases when we're in the present moment. What I suggest for the following practice is from Alexander technique, which I've learned from my teacher, Elaine Bell. I'll have links for her material below. Essentially, it's a practice that allows for our bodies to realign with ease through subtle cues on what directions our bones can move to create more spaciousness within our fascia, our muscles, our organs. So if you're feeling more urgency, next breath, allow the crown of your head to rise up. The following inhalation, perhaps allow your shoulder blades and your scapula to move out away from each other like wings. Every exhalation, feel your feet root into the ground, especially your big toe mound. You're really anchored in. Every inhalation, your spine leading by the crown of your head moves up towards the cosmos. Every exhalation, you feel your hips, your legs, your feet move down towards the ground. Every breath is an opportunity for your body awareness to increase, which helps stabilize your nervous system. Adding simple Alexander technique cues can allow that to happen with more ease and impact. Every inhalation, the crown of your head and your whole spine, all the way down to your tailbone, moves up. Every exhalation from your hips down to the roots, down to your feet, moves down. Every inhalation, your scapula and your clavicle move out like wings. Again and again, breath by breath, allowing your awareness to move into where your bones are moving, allows for your nervous system to be at ease, your brain to find more ease, and you to increase your impact in your whole world during times of uncertainty and global unrest. So why not? Alexander technique, the directions in which our bones are moving through a subtle imagination. It's really subtle. But the subtlety, it has a lot of power in it. When we come in and notice what it's like to breathe and be expansive in our own bodies, that allows for our emotions and our mind to experience more ease and expansion. Invaluable tools during times of change. I think we've come to the end of this episode. As always, please comment, like, share. This is just growing organically, so help give it wings if you like it. And until next week, message me if you have any questions. I have session times if you're wanting to my work. If you're curious about your own astrological chart, how this affects your ability to lead within your world, then come on over to Coco World. I'm here for you. In the meantime, thank you. Till next week. Thank you for being a part of our community here at Our Waking Dream. please make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Fill my cup and let it overflow. Let it overflow with love.